me, I've ruined a lot of relationships and didn't really know why. I
Yeah.
would always blame them.
Yeah.
They are blah blah blah, and and it was me
The whole time.
It was me.
Yeah.
And so, but God has healed me from depression.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz. If you were just watching my live just now, you already heard me talk about her, and I got her in the house. I've been knowing Miesha for a very long time. We met through ministry, of course, but the bond very quickly became something outside of ministry because I got to know Miesha, the person. The hairstylist, the mother. She can probably tap dance and play a flute if you give her opportunity to. But I've been trying to sit down and talk with her live for a very long time. And I guess the opportunity had to wait for the opportunity, if that makes any sense. But ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, Miss Miesha Keaton. What's up?
Hey.
I am excited.
I'm excited.
Whoa, wait. My glasses got fouled up.
Oh, goodness.
God, Jesus Christ.
You are silly. You like that?
Do I like that? I want one in my life one day. Jesus. I'm jumping right into it.
Yes.
Chocolate man with the beard.
Yes. Oh,
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
What happened? How did this man come along and sweep you off your feet? Because you are not the easiest.
Right, literally. So, I love to cook.
Yes.
So I cooked, and I typically always post my food because I love presentation and all that. Cooked this meal, posted it on Facebook. He kind of jumped in the comments and was like, "That looks good." I want to play, and I was like, "Boy, whatever."
Yeah.
Whatever. And so he said something else, and so I just kind of LOL'd him off. Mm-hmm. So then he DM'd me. He was like, "Hey, call me." Now, mind you, I've been knowing him for years.
Okay.
I've been knowing him since we were maybe 13, middle school.
Okay.
And we went to high school together as well. So he DM'd me and told me to call him. I called him. We had a conversation. It was still strictly kind of platonic, like what you want type of thing. He came over for dinner, and we've been together ever since.
I absolutely love it. I told you before, I just said, that's a beautiful black man.
He is.
And I see that I think what makes him even more beautiful inside and out is the fact that I see you on Facebook putting it out there, letting everybody know, like,
absolutely,
this man is everything to me.
Absolutely.
What was it about him that gave you the mindset to say, Miesha, give this man a chance?
He was different. He was just different. And I know it sounds kind of broad, but of the other men that I dated, he was just different.
Yeah.
Like, he was, the way he handled me, he understood me and the things that I've been through. And so he handled me very carefully, and that meant a lot to me. Mm-hmm. He didn't brush my pain off or my past. He was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure not to do these type of triggers, or I want to talk to you this way. And I mean, he was amazing.
So he actually wanted to know what the triggers were.
Absolutely.
That's good, because we have a lot of people that get into relationships that just jump in, know I've been hurt, know I've been abused, know I've gone through, and never even bother to ask what happened. Yeah. So you better marry this man.
Yes, absolutely.
He wants to, as we said in the show today, and those that are going to play for the next 2 days, he wanted to see you have authentic healing.
Absolutely, and he has been a major part of my continuous healing, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because I was healed before we got together, but I still had some rough spots.
Yeah.
But he was willing to kind of work with me, and love me so good, at the same time.
So what's the relationship? How is he with the kids? Well, they ain't kids, but the grown folk,
right? So he don't really get to see them a lot because they're grown. Everybody's grown and moved.
Yes,
they grown and gone.
And you loving it?
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Emptiness. So, when we do all get together, it's great. Like he's a fun guy. Like he's a comedian at heart. He's a big kid, so he's just kind of him, and so everybody loves him. So the kids, I mean the boys, not the kids, the boys, they love him, and they see that he makes me happy,
and that's all that matters to them.
Yeah.
So, of course, I told you before the show, with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, let's talk about, you're definitely not new to the scene on talking about things that you've had to deal with.
Right.
But for the new audience, kind of share like a tad bit of what you've been healed from.
So as a child, in my testimony, I exposed that as a child I was sexually abused by a grown woman. I also experienced physical abuse by an aunt, and just the rejection, the emotional abuse, that type of thing. And so God allowed me to overcome it. And so now I really try to advocate for healing, childhood trauma, because so many adults are walking around with childhood trauma and not really realizing it, and don't realize that's why their relationships are not flourishing, and that's why something is always something in a relationship, but that something could be in you that you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So God has, because for me, I've ruined a lot of relationships and didn't really know why. I would always blame them.
Yeah.
They are blah, blah, blah. And it was me.
The whole time.
It was me.
Yeah.
And so, but God has healed me from depression. I mean, major depression, anxiety, feeling the neediness, wanting to always, he's just healed me from so much. Yeah. And like I said, there's still something, because I'm human. Yeah. So there's still some things that I work through, but I can honestly say that I am healed, and that's my thing that I want to get across to other people.
So with all the years that I have known you, prior to you actually coming out sharing your testimony, you wore that really well, and nobody ever knew.
Right. Nobody knew until they got close enough to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did that do to your psyche, to see people who are supposed to be able to discern certain things about you, but all they do is pat you on the back and be like, I need this, and never ever really tap into it?
I think about it like this: it wasn't really their responsibility to.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are broken. A lot of people have those issues and they don't know it. So for them to try to help me, they can't. Yeah. They can only do what they have. You can only give me what you have, and if they don't have real healing or, a good mental state or a good emotional state, they can't give it to me. Right. People that were closest to me knew about some of my, knew about most of it, and they would try, but ultimately it was me that had to really see, okay, this is a problem. Yeah. Yeah. So you got to do something. Like, so they can people can tell you and tell you and tell you, and until you decide. And sometimes that means getting hurt enough or destroying so many relationships to, it's like, okay. Yeah. I got to do something.
Yeah. So in the process of going through everything, what was the thing that made you say, Miesha, check yourself?
So I was in a relationship, and this person I was friends with for a really long time, and it was a male, and so we kind of became best friends, and it was strictly a friendship. We kind of moved over into trying to date. It was then when I realized, and he would tell me, you need to change this. You need to do, and I was just like, yeah. But you need to call me every 5 minutes, because if you don't call me, I mean, it was craziness. Why are you ignoring me? And it's been 30 minutes. Like, I mean, literally the need for that continual validation, and it was when that relationship was destroyed, and I really hurt him because I was hurting so bad. I hurt him. Yeah. And I was hurting. That made me kind of step back and say, okay, girl, this ain't everybody else.
Yeah. Did you?
It's you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was crushed because he left my life. And at that moment, I didn't understand. But after some time went by, I get it. Because I'm like, nobody has to stay and be abused by you.
Yes, it's true.
Who wants to deal with that toxic stuff? Like, nobody has to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, in retrospect, I see why he did. But then I cried. I think I cried literally. And nobody really knew. I cried for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Straight. I was so depressed. And this was not that long ago.
Oh, wow.
This was not that long. This probably was about maybe 3 years ago.
Oh,
and so
fresh.
Oh, yeah. And during that pain, God really showed me, okay, are you ready? Are you ready to deal with these demons and these issues and this suppressed hurt? And so that's when I started, you know, I don't know if I'm going too far.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So that's when I started
What happened, people?
Okay. I started kind of digging deep, and God began to show me the molestation. You know, when you're molested as a child by someone who you're supposed to be able to trust.
Yes.
That creates major trust issues.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand. It's so many things to this, but the one thing was trust. You know, when you're supposed to be able to trust somebody that's an adult, that's to care for you, and they strip you from your childhood, and they take something away from you, and they literally strip you from your worth.
What else are you left with?
What do you do?
Yeah.
And so you go through life like, who am I? What am I? What do I do? Who loves me? I mean, it's a mess. And so he showed me that. He showed me the abandonment from my father, because he was kind of he was in my life, but you know, I was a love child. I talked about that. He was married when my mom got pregnant with me, and so I was kind of a secret for a long time.
Right,
I was a secret child. So that was an issue. Yeah, and then the rejection from just people, and the emotional abuse from people telling me you ain't nothing, you always gonna be this, and you. I mean, all of that, and you know, and so much of that, you know, and you grow up with it, and you believe that about yourself, and so you go through life with low self-esteem, trying to get people to love you, trying to be accepted. I mean, it's a vicious cycle. Yeah, and so God showed me all of that about me, and I was just like, okay, God, I want to be healed. I don't want to be this way. I want to be different. I was mad at God for a minute, though. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, why would you allow me to go through that if you knew it was going to make me like this? You know,
like, why? You're supposed to already have this planned out and give me some kind of hint.
Like, why? You know, and so I was like very angry for a minute. I kind of stopped going to church, and you know me, you know I'm a heavy
church baby.
Listen,
and y'all be at church at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning,
you know, and I'll be enjoying every minute of it. But I was so mad at God, and when I would see, like, if I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see somebody preaching or singing, I just hurry up, you know, because I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you let me go through this stuff? This is a grown woman literally having sex with a child. Yeah. Like, she is you know, I could talk about it if you want me to, but it's graphic. But she would have sex with me. I'm 9 and 10 years old, and she's in her 20s. Wow. Yeah, and so I mean, it was crazy, and I could still remember it. Yeah. But so anyway, God was showing me that stuff. And I went to the bookstore one day because I'm like trying to figure it out. Okay, well, God, you got to show me. So God literally directed my path. And I picked up this book called Yesterday I Cried by Iyanla Vanzant. Okay. And when I tell you, that was the opening of my healing journey, the beginning of my journey. That book, and I'm not a huge reader. Yeah. But her life, her abuse, her childhood was so parallel to mine. Yours, yeah. And so, I mean, I will read and cry and read and cry. And so, from there, you know, God was just showing me, you don't have to, you are enough. You know, I've created you. You went through that stuff for purpose. You went through that stuff for, you know, so you can heal someone else. And, you know, so, you know, that was the beginning of my healing journey. From there, I made it a point to do things to contribute to my own healing. And I did that. I probably worked on myself maybe about a year. Yeah. And I think the following year, about a year and a half, that's when I was ready to release my testimony. And I think now this is why I'm ready for love, because
I was just about to say,
it's not toxic, it's healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so 3 years ago, if I had met him, he would be gone.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody I'm not going to do that. So, that's kind of been my journey, my healing. And so I always tell people, your pain may not be your fault. Your brokenness may never be your fault, because a lot of broken people are still children, but have grown up. But at the point, the age where you were traumatized, it's probably the age where you still are. You know what I mean?
You're stuck at 10 years old.
But you're 40.
Yeah.
But you still have, because you were so traumatized. But I tell people, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility.
Yeah. Why do you think it takes a longer than expected time for us to realize that we're still affected by things that we think we've put away?
One, I feel like we've been conditioned to think that it's normal.
Yes.
So for most people that live in dysfunction, it's normal. Oh, we was raised like that. Oh, my mama would talk to me like that. Or, so to them it's normal. Until somebody comes and say, that's not what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to do, this is not what this is. This is not healthy behavior. And so I think that's the reason why, because we think that it's normal. And so until somebody actually taps us, or until God kind of exposes, hey, I want more for you than this. Yeah.
I think for me, whenever I went through my situation, of course I lived in Louisiana at the time, I told my leaders, and it was one of those, let's pray about it. And then within the next 2 days, my abuser was in town to preach a revival. Not only did they give him my new address to my home, but their son, who was the assistant pastor, comes and knocks on the door and asks me if I'm going to the revival. I'm like, you mother.
Did they know?
Yeah.
I mean, did the son know? And
I told the son and his wife, and then about an hour later, we drove to his mom and dad house, who were the apostle and the bishop.
Yeah.
Told them and everything. And it's like,
it was nothing.
I ain't say nothing. So this past weekend, I shared in the show today. I had to go sing at a funeral. All of them was there. And what's the surprising thing is, to them it never happened, because they wanted to really be all up in my face, laughing, hugging, shaking hands. And I'm like,
I'm still dealing with stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? I thought I was over it.
Absolutely.
Until I saw this man.
Absolutely.
And I was instantly like, I smelled his cologne.
Yeah. It doesn't go away.
And it triggered me to where, like, I was going towards him and somebody stopped me that know what I went through.
Yeah.
They was like, let's just go the other way.
Yeah.
Because I saw myself, and that let me know, nigga, you're not healed.
Yeah.
And which is why all of these shows this month is so important to me, because not only am I trying to help other people, I'm trying to get help too, because I've destroyed a lot of relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I had the perfect wife. And you know what I'm talking about. Perfect.
Yeah.
But because I got in it because I wanted to be accepted.
Yeah.
And even though I really grew to love her, that feeling, I still fought it.
Yeah.
So it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it was to know nothing regarding her. She was perfect.
But you had things in you that just weren't healed.
And I refused to drag along a relationship knowing that I'm at this time, boo, I just can't do it, you know. But I've learned, and watching whenever you came out with your testimony, like, it affected me in such a way, because looking at you would have never ever thought that you went through nothing that you went through.
Yeah.
Do you think that your worship is as sensitive as it is because of things that you've experienced?
Absolutely.
Because whenever you worship, like whenever you get there, I don't care if it's 1 million people in the room, it's like a cloud of you don't see nothing. So how does that relate to that worship?
How do I put it in words? Because I'm so grateful to God because He rescued me. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, because I could be out there like. Yeah. And so when I think about that stuff, and I think about how God was always there, even when I thought He wasn't. Mm-hmm. When I was crying and just trying to take all these pills every night and wanted to die but was too scared. I mean, just
that's me. I wanted to just be done.
But God is there. Yeah. He was there. But you don't realize that because you're so overtaken by your stuff and what you're feeling. So when I worship, I just kind of put all of this stuff that I've gone through in like this compact. Yeah. And I worship God just surrounding that because I know, if it had not been for God, like I have a deep love for God. Yeah. I love God so much. And, He whispers to me and He tells me, you can worship me and you can be vulnerable with me. Mm-hmm. And not, because I've always had a thing, I don't want to be vulnerable because I'm scared to get hurt. Yep. And I'm scared to show you how much I love you. So I'm going to act like I don't. And but with God, I can be extra. And He accepts it. He wants it. And so that's kind of what I think about. And so I think that's probably what helps me in my worship to God. And I don't regret anything that I've been through now. I used to, like I told you earlier, I used to be mad, but now all of that has made me who I am, and it's making me for who I'm going to become. Yeah. So that's what it is.
So although you've been before we switch topics, what is the one word of advice you would give to the person younger and the person who was older but still stuck in the younger mindset on the realization that this is a problem?
For the younger person, I would say go tell somebody, because for children who are being molested, it typically always goes untold. Mm-hmm. And it's always, and if somebody does find out, well, we're not going to tell nobody. We're going to sweep that under the hood. And that child ends up being, the broken adult. Yeah. So I would say just please tell somebody, no matter if you think you're going to get in trouble or not, go tell somebody, because if it happened as a child, you need to start getting counseling there. As a child, yeah. You need to start getting help. For the adult, I would say acknowledge what you've gone through, acknowledge your moments where you feel depressed, because depression is the number one sign of childhood trauma, mental illness. I mean, that's huge. And so when you feel that, just start inspecting what it is, and just trying to figure out what it comes from. And most of the time it's from some type of trauma. Mm-hmm. So figure that out. Go get some books, go talk to somebody, go to counseling, go get prayer, whatever you need to do for your healing, because when you're healed, you're better. Facts. You're better for you, and you're better for the people around you. Yeah. Because when you're not healed, everybody around you got to deal with you. Everybody around you got to deal with you and your toxicity. Yes. And you wonder why they don't want to be around me. Well,
you're kind of the reason why. Yeah. Like your mood swing, your mood swing shift. That you could be happy one minute,
but then you're triggered by something. Yeah. And so sometimes people don't understand it, but you need to work on it. You need to talk to somebody. And if you can't talk to anybody in your family, go outside your family.
Yeah, because one of the biggest things that I've learned is sometimes we can't talk to people in the family because it's somebody in the family.
It's about 90 something % of people that are molested are somebody in the family or very close to the family. Mm-hmm. Very close to the family. And so, that's another thing. It happens all the time because it's always somebody that you would not expect. Yeah. Yeah. It was my god sister. My mom I would go over there all the time. My mom if she would have known, I mean, of course. Yeah. But nobody would think a God sister. Nobody would think the bishop, the pastor, whoever.
Yeah.
Nobody would think that.
Because he's the person that can preach and lay hands and raise $1 million offering and all this other stuff.
And so, and also, people like you and I who have been abused, sometimes other people can sense it and they can kind of play on us.
Yes.
If we're not careful, and because we're vulnerable, we're kind of weak in a sense. We're like, okay, I'll do it. I mean, it's kind of, so we got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because people will take advantage. They will further the abuse.
Yes.
I'm talking about people now.
Yeah, definitely.
They will, because, I mean, that's another story, but yeah. So anyway, I went off, but that's what I would tell the young one and the older one.
You've been singing forever, and this is why I fell in love with you, Ed. Like, when I say fell in love, I love you. You was on the stage. Shout out to Bishop Sherman C.G. Allen. Hey, father. This man is about this tall. Oh, but that man is anointed by God. With power. He is packed with power. Shout out to First Lady Otanya Allen, who is like, she's been that beautiful since the day I met her, and she has not changed. Yeah. And I love her, I think, midday prayer. She changed my whole Facebook. I be scrolling, see her praying. Tap in.
Absolutely.
Love them.
She is a prayer warrior.
Lately, I've been living vicariously through you. I'm not gonna lie. I interviewed Kirk for I think it was the NAACP Image Awards. Okay. And I was like, bro, you need to call me. I sing, and I see that you have all of my friends in the studio with you, and I have an issue. Yes. How long have you been able to do work with the likes of Kirk, Fred, and everybody else?
So, okay, you want me to start with Fred or
wherever?
Well, so okay, with Fred, I've done maybe 3 things with him. Okay, I've worked with him 3 times. He released a single maybe 2 years ago. I can't even remember the name of it. But anyway, I'm on that. And I've done like a concert with him, studio work twice. Kirk, I met him for the second time when I was actually in the studio recording my song. The new one. Yeah. And he called the guy who produced it, D Busy, and he was like, hey, I want y'all, this is right before he put out this new album. Okay. And so he said, hey, come listen to the album. And he was like, well, I'm in a session right now. He said, well, bring everybody. He was like, so do you want to? Yeah, we want to go.
I think so.
We can do this later. Yes. So we went over there, and so it was so amazing because that's the first time that I was able to really talk and get advice from Kirk. And he was just like, because I have a thing where I'm like, I'm not like other singers. I don't do runs. I don't sing high. And so that's, it's an insecurity for me. So I'm just like, I just kind of sing worship straight. I don't maybe do that other stuff. So anyway, and I was kind of expressing that to him, and he was just like, do what you do. That's your success. Do what you do. And he just kind of encouraged me. He was just like, I want to hear it. I'm not playing with you. You better when it's done, and so that was that. So the other times, the videos and the other, like the 4th of July thing we did, some of the other stuff we did, there were calls from like a third party. It was like, hey, we want to, we need you to, sing alto, blah, 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 who's available. Yeah. So that was kind of how that happened. And so each time I was able to kind of still talk with him and, because I told Kirk when I was about 15, I was listening to the album Silver and Gold. Yes. And I told him that was my first introduction to God, his music.
Me too. Like, I've been in church since I was 7, but whenever Kirk came out, that was my attention getter to be like, you can really have fun and serve God at the same time.
And his music is so incredible. It just pierces.
Yes.
And it's always been like that. So, yeah, that's the thing with Kirk. And I mean, it's an honor every time I get to go in there. And I always say that's my boss. And because I want him to be my boss one day.
I work for
like
Kirk.
my boss, yes. So I'll be putting it out there because that's one of my dreams. And God is literally undoing it. I mean, he's doing it before my very eyes. So
I told him, he say, well, just just pull up when they here. Negro, don't tell me that.
Oh, because I mean,
I will show up for your song.
Exactly. I'm here.
Remember this video whenever you said in the interview to pull up?
Right,
I'm pulling up, dog.
No,
hey,
I'm here.
I'm pulling up.
Remember me?
Remember. But outside of that, Kirk is wonderful, extraordinary, and anointed. But you, I absolutely love your voice. What made you want to get into singing?
What made me want to sing? I don't know. Like I said, when I was younger, I started listening to Kirk, and I didn't know I could sing.
Okay.
I didn't know I could sing for a long time.
Wow.
It was long. Like, I just knew I loved listening to Kirk Franklin. Then I started listening to the Clark sisters, and then it just kind of grew from there. When I joined Shiloh 23 years ago,
She say 23 years like she don't even look like she been doing that for 23 years.
Just thank you, but listen, I started singing in the choir, and then I got on the praise team, you know, and so that's kind of when I realized, okay, maybe you can sing a little bit, you know, and then but I was so afraid, and that was due to my past, the rejection. That was the root of my fear was rejection. So it took, baby, when I tell you it took pulling teeth to give me the lead a little bit piece of it, I was so scared, like sweating scared. Yeah. Sweating.
Perspired everything.
Yes. So, I don't know, I fell in love with music, and I've always I've always loved worship music, even before I knew what it was. Yeah. I just loved, something in me was drawn to somebody singing worship. And so I guess that would be the answer.
Let's talk about the new single.
Yay.
Like you told me before, this is the first song that you wrote. What's the inspiration?
Well, I've written several. Okay. But this is the first song that I've written and released.
Okay.
And arranged. The inspiration was, so the main part of the song is As Long As I Have Breath in My Body. I don't know if you've heard it yet. Okay, so basically talks about how God captured me by his love, and how, you know, I always love him, and as long as I have breath in my body. So I've had a few moments in my life where I felt like they were a bit life-threatening. And so overcoming those things, you know, is like, I don't want to take for granted that you allow me to breathe every day. Yeah. And so the main thing is, as long as I have breath in my body, I will worship you. And that's the inspiration. Life. Like, thank you, Lord, for giving me life, and just being able to see, and just, you know, everything, you know. So that's inspiration.
Being able to overcome the, oh my God, they might not like it situation. What was the feeling whenever you actually was like, here y'all go?
Oh, I was scared. I was like, ooh, is it gonna sound a mess? Do I sound okay? Is my voice right? Is the music good? Like, I mean, everything. You know, but I don't know. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's just make it happen.
If they don't like it, they don't like it. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? They don't like it. Okay.
Well, Kirk like it, so that's all that matters. God dog. If Kirk like my music, I'm gonna sing it every day.
I want him to. I hope, like, when he gets it, I want him to love it.
Yeah. You receive a phone call. Hey,
listen.
Come sign it for yourself.
That part.
I'm done.
Ain't asking no questions.
None at all. I have to thank you. A couple weeks ago, you hit me up about playing.
Yes. Because I love the way you play as well.
And I've absolutely had I think because playing for me became a sore point, because throughout the years, I've been playing since I was like 12, but just more recently, I've been accepted to play in places, but whenever someone better comes along, whether it's anointed or not, because their chords are better, I was kind of just kicked to the side. Yeah. And then I had the other places who appreciated, but they wanted to give me a fish dinner and a soda at the end. Yeah. So it put me in a position to where I just didn't want to no more. But thank you for actually still seeing that.
Absolutely.
Of course, I love to play for famous people. So
whatever.
Had I actually been ready to do it, I would have jumped at the opportunity.
And I felt like when you told me no, I said he's discouraged about something.
Oh yeah.
And so I didn't, because you were like, I don't have the thing, whatever. And so I was just like, okay, he's discouraged. So I just said, okay, I wasn't gonna press it. I was just like, okay, but I know he'll be back one day playing.
One day I will, but you saw me when most people don't even care. So I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely.
I told y'all she do everything. Let's talk about the hair and all this other stuff.
Oh, Lord.
How long have you been doing hair?
I've been a hairstylist licensed since I was 19.
Jesus Christ.
I am 42 now. So I've been a hairstylist for, 23 years? Yeah.
What was it? Is that something that kind of just gradually just came about? Or is it something that was like, I want this?
It came about because my mama sent me to school looking crazy. And I had to learn how to do it. My mama didn't know how to comb no hair.
That's why my mom was blessed because I guess she told God at the beginning, I don't want no daughters because I can't do hair. So my mom just had 4 boys.
See? Yeah, I'm my mom's only child. But honey, Miss Lady couldn't do her.
Wow.
And so I have pictures of me looking pony.
I love it.
A mess.
Absolutely love it. Oh my goodness.
So when I turned about 11, 12, I started experimenting. I'm like, okay, and it was cute. And I would go to school and people like, okay, your hair is cute. I was so used to being talked about and bullied in school.
Yes.
When they said it was cute, I was like, okay, I might be on to something.
Yeah.
So I started doing her hair. Then I started doing my aunts. And then I started doing people. And I had, before you know it, I had my mama's apartment packed.
Wow.
With $5 clients. $5. Whatever you get. $5.
That was good money for a kid.
By that time, I was probably about 15. $5. Yeah. So, it just grew from there. And I actually really still love doing hair because for me, it's deeper than hair. It's more so of helping people with self-esteem.
I was about to say, you building people's self-esteem.
Yeah. So that's my thing, because I love it when people talk to me. Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Yes. Being a hairstylist, you hear.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You are listening to or watching the Intro Dallas podcast. I'm joined with the one and only Miss Miesha Keaton. Let's talk about ministry and where you're worshiping at on Sundays because I need everybody in the DFW to know and if y'all doing online streaming, I need you to be booked for the rest of the year pretty much.
Do it, Lord.
Like, just book her to, if you need somebody to sing while you wash clothes type situation.
I'll do that.
Let's talk about church.
So I am a newly member of a church called Covenant Christian Church.
Okay.
It's in Arlington, Texas.
Okay.
Pastor is Aldi Asanjo.
Okay.
Very amazing guy. Him and his wife, just incredible. We've been there a few months.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I attend. Former member of Christ Cathedral. Shout out to my spiritual dad.
Yes.
Sherman C.G. Allen. So that's where I am right now. I lead worship pretty much every Sunday unless I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I might have to find somebody to step in for the rest of the year, Doc. Just saying. I see. By the way,
yeah.
Shameless plug. A lot of your the single that you released before this one. I love the worship, but I love the fact that some of your music won't necessarily sound like church stuff.
Right.
Like you got this contemporary, where you have this contemporary feel to what you do, and it's amazing. How important is it sometimes for us to be able to get people under the radar?
Under the radar,
like just not having church.
Okay, so I'm not a churchy singer. I've never been, and I admire those who do. Like I just be looking at people like, oh my God, a real churchy. They can go up and down. Woo. I'm not that. I'll be wanting to be. I'll be like, Lord, that's unfair. Yeah. Because I want to do that, but no. Because God has ways of getting to of having you reach people through different ways, and so I think I happen to be one of those other people. You know, my singing style is very kind of mellow. You probably very rare when you hear me hollering and, you know, all of that. But, you know, it's mellow. And I believe that if it's anointed, it will reach whomever, just like the other stuff will reach whomever if it's anointed.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've never been anointed. The first song that you're talking about, that was in 2015.
Yeah.
The producers actually wrote that song. So I was just kind of in the studio singing it. It was way out of my comfort. Okay. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Because it's a great song. So yeah.
But I need, what's the fiance name? T. I need you to inspire her to write the best love song ever. I need one of those songs that make me want to get married all over again.
Oh, let me get my pen and paper.
And I believe it's in you now. I'm just saying, I celebrate your happiness.
Thank you so much.
Like, I love seeing I love the photo shoot y'all just done.
Thank you.
That looked like money.
Come on,
that
money.
That whole photo shoot looked like money.
Come on, money.
And whenever I saw it, I was like, this is real. Because, you know, a lot of people get on social media and they stunt just because they just want people to believe something. But whenever I see you with T, it's like I understand now that this girl in love.
I mean, in love. Like, this man has came in and, why do I have hair everywhere? This man, like, what is happening? He came in and kind of turned my life around. And it's in a very gentle way, though. Yeah. He's just... Oh God, he was sent by God. Everything that I would ever want out of a man, he's that. Everything.
Wow.
And it scared me at first because I'm like, you're too something.
You're too perfect.
It's got to be something.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't. He was just sent by God, and we knew that very early on that we were sent to each other.
Wow.
You know. And he was saying the same thing about me. He was like, "Nah, it got to be something. You got to be crazy. Something." He said, "Because you are everything." And I was just looking at him like, "No, you're everything. But show me your stuff now."
Yeah.
But he's him.
I absolutely love it. These type interviews, like I just started having basic conversation and we'd be completely off subject. I enjoyed having you here today. Thank you for taking our time to come and see us down here in Dallas.
No, thank you for having me. I'm honored that you even invite me. Thank you so much.
I pray that this interview will help people. Again, we are geared this month toward mental health awareness. So I'm trying to bring in as many people as I know that have overcame things to be the light for those who are going through and just don't know they can overcome. And why not bring in a beautiful singer, songwriter, worship leader, tap dancer, flute player, acrobatic gymnastic.
Come on.
But, you know, some things has to happen. I'm not letting you go anywhere without giving me a song.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let y'all listen to
what
this.
What you want me to sing?
It can be like the hook of something. I don't. You can see Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I won't even care. Like on Sister A. Lamb.
I think that's since we're talking about mental health awareness and you know, like I said, sometimes those issues stem from just childhood stuff, and a lot of times you feel unloved. So one of my favorite songs to sing is "He Loves Us."
Let's go.
I'm trying to think. Where your key? Well, I need a key. He is jealous for me. He loves like a hurricane, and I am the tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. And all of a sudden, I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are towards me. And oh, how he loves us. Oh, oh, how he loves us. How he loves us. Oh, and oh, how he loves us. Oh, oh, how he loves us. How he loves us. Oh, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves.
I'm not talking.
You can sing it. You should sing it with me.
I ain't talking anymore. I love your control.
Oh, thank you.
Yo, yeah. Okay, so see that's when you know anointing is in the room.
You should have came in and sang it with me.
I'm not about to interrupt that anointing.
Oh my gosh.
My mama taught me better. She said, "Boy, shut up. Let them go."
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow. Even that part of your life, vocally, like everything's growing.
Yes.
I need to be happy like her. Let me find happiness like Miesha. So
honey, it's already there. Just grab it. It's already attainable.
It's obtainable. Funny flashback. Last time I saw Miesha in Fort Worth, Texas, I was playing at Christ Cathedral and church was over and I was hungry and she was hungry. So we went to churches.
Come on, churches. Yes, we do.
Got that good old two-piece and I got that okra.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
That'd be the best. And strawberry soda, honey.
Done.
Listen.
I live that moment forever. Every time I think about when was the last time I saw Miesha, church's chicken.
That was. It's been so long ago.
It's been forever.
Oh.
That's over 4 years.
That's a long time.
But y'all know what? She still look the same though. Do you not drink sodas or something? Your skin is flawless.
I don't drink sodas.
This is the fashion tips, y'all. Come on, fashion tips from Miesha.
Every now and again. But let me tell you, the secret for my skin is, first of all, I exfoliate, I tone, I moisturize, I spray rose water. The second thing is I drink celery juice. I drink cucumber juice. And that literally makes your skin shine. It makes you feel good. It boosts your mental. Different foods. Since you're talking about mental health awareness, different foods boost your mental. Like it'll put you in a good mood. Like different good food.
Yeah. Where did you get that education from?
I love it. I've been juicing for a few years now.
Okay.
But I do a lot of research on it, and so now it's become a regular part of my life. Now, I don't juice every day apparently because I still got all this weight on me, but I'm trying to lose it.
Nah, you. I told you walking down the hall. Yeah. You look totally different.
Thank you. But sometimes for maybe a month I'll juice celery every morning on an empty stomach. Drink it every morning. That does so many health things for you. I mean, it does a lot. So your listeners can look it up and they'll see all of the benefits. Now I'm doing cucumbers, celery, green apple, and ginger. Ginger root is very good for you as well.
Okay.
So I do that 3 days a week. And so that's what helps my skin.
If it's gonna help me look like this, yes, I said look like that.
Hey!
I'm down for it.
Yes.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for being a part of today's show, the Intro Dallas podcast. Thank you for listening wherever you find podcasts. Thank you for watching on our social media or our YouTube page. Do me a favor. I am not going to let her go. I need them to know where they can find you.
So I am Miesha N. Keaton on Facebook and Instagram. MIESHANKEATON.
And that's where they can book you and everything?
Well, for booking for ministry purposes is Miesha Keaton Worship on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need y'all to book her. I need her to be busy. I need the next 5-6 times I call her to come here, she say I can't because I'm out of town.
Y'all, do it.
That part.
But I want to come though.
But if she can't because she's out of town, I love y'all for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I love her. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys once again. Get healed. Hurt people, but heal people. Heal somebody today. It's your boy Tazz, Lady Miesha Keaton. Holla.